Brad, someone told me that you already own this game, but you've never played it.
That is absolutely true. Guilty as charged, sir.
So this is Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery EP, which just came out on PC pretty recently. There was a Mac version coming out. I think it's before the summer solstice. I guess something like that. It's basically
their
like,
words?
I think mid-June.
They said that?
They talk a lot about this game in terms of
that sounds like
the equinox and the solstice.
That sounds like something they would say.
That plays a little bit into the gameplay. But watch this.
What?
Oh.
Scratch that thing.
Can we scratch it? I can just stop it.
Okay.
But it will stop the music, which is kind of neat. Yeah, this is a game that came out first on iPad and then came out on iPhone.
Yeah, what's it been? Almost a year, it seems like, at this point?
I think so. I think
Feels like it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Since I remember that heady evening when it was just nothing but tweets from this game.
Yeah, well, and
everybody that bought this game the day it came out.
You can enter that stuff in ahead of time, but we'll look at that.
Do it.
We're gonna do it in the actual game.
All right.
Yeah, we're just gonna jump right in.
Man, now I can't look at the Cappy logo anymore. Cappy has the best logo. Did you do that? Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Man.
Dance.
All right.
Dance.
I don't even know what this game actually
Dance.
is, but I have to play this.
Doing that too. So one of the things about this game is that I think the writing, for the most part, is pretty smart, clever, and funny. But I also wouldn't surprise me if the writing is a little too clever for its own good. It would rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, I could see that. So
as you'll see, all the dialogue in this game, there is always this little ever-present button in the corner. You can choose to tweet it. We'll wait. There's one that I do want to tweet. We'll get to that later.
I am going to offer up your Twitter account as a sacrificial lamb on the altar of this Quick Look.
Oh, should have started like some fake Twitter account. Quick Look, fake Twitter account.
Somebody's registering that as we speak.
But this is a game that's very self-referential, and it's very self-aware. You know, that's the tweets play into that. The dialogue plays into that. Although it creates this very convincing universe and world, it doesn't pretend that the rest of the world doesn't exist. So this game originally was, on iOS, which means it was all tapping the screen.
Right.
So in this one, you just if you hold down the left mouse button, it'll kind of run in the direction, or she will run in the direction.
Is it she?
Yeah. If you double click, head in that direction.
And the sound design is fantastic.
Oh, this game has some of those gorgeous pixel art, gorgeous music.
The Foley work, like the sound of sheathing the sword and stuff. Like, it's weird because the art style is so disconnected from anything like tangibly real, but the sound effects sound real. Like that's a cool juxtaposition into it.
Well, it's similar to Fez. It's pixel art, but very intentionally so stylistically, and it's not just like some crutch to make you nostalgic. It really feels like it leans into it and it creates this very deliberate world as a result.
Well, there's a cool element of doing more with less, because you don't have a lot of detail to work with here, but if you can still evoke like a certain mood and like a sense of place, like Fez definitely does that, and it seems like this does too. It's like it's just a bunch of colored blocks on the screen, but it feels like a forest,
You can use this you can hold it down and you can move around.
Is that also in the iPad version? Like, is this?
So the
interface-wise, it's pretty similar.
Yeah. So I love this part.
Wow.
So you can just see, and you have these giant, and a lot of this is just there for looking pretty.
Just 'cause.
Yeah. So let's go talk to Robert Ashley.
Tip tap. I was taking a bath. Never mind.
Logfella, aka a life well wasted, Robert Ashley.
I heard that he has something to do with this. It's their use of, and I haven't even played this game, but I saw those tweets. It's their use of the ampersand, like liberal use of ampersands, that really stands out to me in this. Maybe I spent too much time thinking about formatting or something, but...
So I played this on iOS, and I beat it on iOS, and I would still say, and as I've told you, that you should play this on iOS. So this is a very well done conversion, and it's amazing to have these visuals on a much larger screen. I don't know if the iOS version has been updated to have Retina display graphics for the iPad 3.
I don't know if it would really benefit. I mean, it's such a blocky, angular style that...
Yeah, I don't know how it applies.
I bet this scales really well to that screen.
But it definitely, there was something about touching the screen to get around.
Yeah.
They just felt right for specifically this type of adventure game.
Well, plus you got the advantage of portability. You're not bound to a desk if you want to play it that way.
And this game actually does something very specific in terms of what you can do with the gyroscope on the iPad and the iPhone that we'll get to in a minute. That you just can't do on the PC.
Right. That little orchestra hit sound effect there it'll never not sound cheesy to me. I don't know what it is.
Well, again, this world that is constructed seems aware that it is a video game.
I think it was like, didn't they use that in like the older like the Mac system software?
Yeah, I think so.
There was a sound effect on there.
So the combat system's pretty basic. You got block, you got attack.
Kind of Punch-Out-esque.
Yeah. So in the iOS version, in order you would switch to combat by actually shifting the iPhone or iPad from horizontal to vertical.
Right.
So in this version, you just hit the right mouse pad or right mouse click. But there was something kind of neat about the tangibility of having to physicality of moving this device to actually switch to combat mode.
Did you have to do that?
Yes.
Interesting. So would it just kind of pause and wait for you to do it before it would like pop into the combat?
Yeah. Huh. Like you'd be stuck at the pre-combat screen, and then once you shifted it, then it would become combat.
That's kind of neat.
Because then they would shift the art, so the art was completely vertical. Whereas in this, it's all horizontal 16:9.
Right.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like if you have the option between the two, I would still recommend playing it on iOS.
Sure. Which, as you said, I bought months ago, despite a lack of an iOS device.
Well, you've been looking into getting an iPad
I'm going to
3,
go
right?
get that new iPad at some point. I think I should just go do that tonight. I don't know. Wait, I don't have the money for that right now.
Yeah, those things ain't cheap.
But this totally seems like a valid way to play this game.
Yeah, I think it's $7.99 on Steam right now.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, or was it $6.99?
I'm not sure if it's still on sale. I know there was a sale when it launched.
I want to say that it comes with the soundtrack also.
It does.
Is that accurate?
Yes. I think there are still... You can buy the soundtrack on vinyl still, I think.
Huh. A lot of Steam games have been doing that lately, and they don't always advertise it very well. I mean, I guess when you buy it, it'll usually say, like, soundtrack included, but...
How does that get distributed?
That's the weird part. When you download the game, you just have to navigate through your Steam folder and find where the game is installed, and there'll just be a folder called Soundtrack there full of MP3s. Huh. They don't call attention to it at all, but like if you don't know about it, it's like a nice surprise. It's like, oh, geez, look at this. Like,
I didn't realize that they could attach this whole... I mean, I guess it makes sense.
I think it just downloads
it's just a directory.
Yeah, whatever's in the directory, it just gets pushed out. Like Rochard did that. I didn't even know about it until I just was clicking around, and I was like, oh, Soundtrack. And that game had good music too.
I still need to go back and play that game.
Yeah, there's a Mac version is out now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a Unity game, so it's all over the place.
The portability is pretty easy on Unity.
Yeah, it was PS3 and then PC and now Mac. It was a neat game from what I played.
What I love about this game is that literally every background could be a wallpaper.
Yeah.
Like any of these, I would gladly put on my desktop, or like if they sold prints, I would happily purchase them. Like it's just the art in this game is just astounding.
It's extremely well executed.
And it just evokes such a world so quickly. Like you completely buy into this sense of place that it establishes really early on. And that's helped directly by the music. Like the music just feels right. Like when they pitched this game originally as just an adventure game that is more of the auditory experience is a crucial component, and I think that definitely comes across.
I could see that maybe being a good argument for not playing it on like a noisy airplane or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you
like that.
I played this game when I first got access to like the final build of it on the iPad. It was raining out. I poured a glass of whiskey and I put headphones on and I just sat on the couch with my iPad. Yeah, it was incredible.
Now I'm sitting here. I'm like, all right, portability versus Steam achievements versus tilt controls versus I don't know, chance to play it in a quiet room. I guess you could do that with either one. But the portability kind of takes a hit if you don't want to play this like out in the sun with a bunch of like kids running around you or something.
No,
you want to zone out.
This is something you want to zone out to. Like it's not a particularly long game either. I would say it's, depending on how the puzzles trip you up, maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's something you really want to enjoy in kind of the purest setting possible. Kind of like a journey, you know. It's like a game that these kinds of games don't come along very often,
right?
And so you want to enjoy them sort of to their full extent, because the audio-visual experience is definitely a huge part of it.
Oh,
yeah, look at that fucker. Ooh.
Skulls with antlers on them.
He doesn't appreciate that I stole his book, and I really don't blame him. I don't even, why'd I steal his book? Because the game told me to. Ooh.
Is this game unflinchingly linear? Is there any like kind of replay value where you could do things differently the second time, or is it?
There are like secret hidden goodies, like some secret rooms you can come across. Largely no, but we're not going to get to it in this by the end of this first sequence that we're going to play through. But the game does kind of open up at a certain point where you have access to a number of rooms, and it's sort of up to you to figure out how you're supposed to be manipulating the environment. And there's some brief time travel elements, I guess is how I would put it. I want to remain kind of intentionally vague on that one, but stuff that involves you manipulating. When they talk about the equinox and the solstice, that plays into the gameplay.
Huh. Phases of the moon mean anything?
Yes.
I'm seeing this moon imagery all over the place.
So the combat early on is really simple.
Yeah.
It's something that becomes more complicated later on for a couple of reasons. One of the themes of the game is about personal sacrifice, and that plays into the game in a way where your character is becoming weaker as you go through the game.
Oh.
And so the combat becomes more difficult twofold, in that your character is becoming weaker, can take fewer hits, and in some other ways that I don't really want to say. But there also becomes much more of a rhythm aspect to where you're kind of going back and forth. If you remember the final boss in Ocarina of Time, when you're fighting Ganon and he's like shooting those kind of glowing orbs at you, and you got to hit him back with your shield. There's some stuff like that.
Huh.
So it becomes a little more involved, but at no point does it actually become, I would say, taxing.
Do you ever get a torch or anything?
Mm-mm. A real creepy head.
Yeah.
What's up, Robert Ashley?
Hey.
Is he going to say more than that?
Nope.
Okay.
That is the extensive dialogue in this video.
Because I was going to say that I almost can't deal with hearing that guy's voice coming out of this.
If you've met Robert before, it is truly
I don't
weird.
even know that I have, but I've heard enough of that podcast that it's just...
It fits, though.
Sure. It's just like a little weird twinge of familiarity there that I wasn't ready for. Because, I mean, otherwise, this game does seem kind of reverie-inducing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, you could really kind of get lost in this.
Yeah, and this game was this
I intend to do.
Kind of odd collaboration between this. The reason it's called Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery EP is because Superbrothers is one outfit in Canada, and it was made in collaboration with Capybara Games.
Oh, wait. Well, shit, that clears it up. I've been calling this game Superbrothers forever.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the title.
Okay.
That's kind of like, you know, a signature. But it
I
is
didn't realize it was also the company, though.
Yes, it's also the company.
Okay. So, Sword and Sworcery maybe is a more apt title for this.
Yeah. And then, you know, the music was by, you know, Canadian artist Jim Guthrie, which the soundtrack's really great to this too. And my understanding is kind of like a lot of some of the people involved, largely on the Superbrothers side, hadn't really been involved in game design before, or so that I think that kind of allows for this sort of eerie vibe that the game has. Is when you have the perspective of some people that aren't used to making games, you get something a little bit different.
Don't forget Cappy and their adorable logo, though.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen the trailer for the PC version, it is really good. You can kind of, I think you can see, look, click around the environment. That plays into some of the puzzles later.
All right, I don't know how much more of this I can bear to see.
Oh, you'll see.
Right.
There is a clear end coming up.
Okay.
The game is sort of divided into sections that it kind of encourages you to stop and come back another time.
Huh.
You know, because it is a fairly short game, and so it's kind of interesting to see the game actually encouraging you to, hey, maybe take a break, come back. You don't need to marathon this.
Right.
I don't like the fact that he has 3 eyes.
No, I was just thinking that. That's one too many.
The prospect of hooking up my MacBook and playing this on my TV, though, that does sound pretty good.
I can see the appeal, for sure.
Hey.
Damn it, stop it, Robert Ashley. Wait a minute. You haven't tweeted yet.
Oh, we're getting there.
You thought you were gonna get off tweet free.
Ah! But I have the Megatome now, and I'm super excited about it.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I did get too far. Oh no, maybe I got out of tweeting.
Man.
I'm not sure.
This is bullshit.
Oh, I think I did.
This is bullshit.
Oh, here we go.
No.
No, here it is.
Do it.
All right. This was the one I was waiting for.
Whoa.
I should be like, Brad Shoemaker.
Oh, you knew my password.
Typing my name under pressure. Sign it. Tweet this. Success! So now you know when we recorded this quick look.
It's gone down in history. All right. This game looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's just...
I look forward to playing this in whatever form.
It just has this really, really nice vibe about it. It's super relaxing, but it has a really touching story that it sort of paints over the course of the couple of hours. But it's really something. This is not something you play on the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, you totally could, but just you'd be cheating yourself out. Like, you know, this is akin to, you know, a horror game or something that is meant to be experienced in the dark with headphones. Like, as much in that experience as you can make for yourself. But you can see 17%. So the rest of the game goes along a lot slower than that. There were no puzzles in the section we were in. And this game does involve a lot of exploring the world, finding puzzles, kind of touching the world to like sort of ferret out the different puzzles and the solutions, because you have to remember that, you know, this is a game that was designed for a touch device, so it kind of uses that in some inventive ways. But yeah, the game does not go as fast as that 17%. We just the intro part goes by pretty quickly because there's just not much to it. But
I'm glad to hear that there's some kind of narrative depth there. It's not all just like abstract style.
Oh yeah, it has a really, really cool story that it tells.
It's not all mood.
This is very much like a short story if you look at it and sort of.
Alright.
In most video games, like are average 8 to 12 hours long on the average end. This is much shorter than that, so it's kind of a video game short story. But it can tell a lot in that time, and because there is zero filler to this game.
I was going to say, a lot of those longer games just have a lot of fluff crammed in there.
Yeah, there's nothing like that in that game. But yeah, that is Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery EP. It's out now on Steam for the PC, and it's coming out for Mac in the next couple of months. So, Brad, you are now $700 poorer because you're going to probably go buy an iPad.
Oh, you're totally right.